Thank you guys for joining us for episode 80 of Black Coffee and Crime. We have a very interesting episode tonight, and not necessarily because of the subject matter, but more because Brandy's wearing that wig on top of her braids.
Excuse me, wig where? Wig where?
Can you do that one more time? Yeah.
Somebody who.
Yeah.
Somebody who.
Just watch the movie, y'all. Just look at the body and the bounce.
Wow.
Look at the body and the bounce. But we do have a very interesting show. Brandy is on location. So if there's any interruptions, again, we can record this live. So y'all just work with us. So this is episode 80. Thank you guys for joining us. All new subscribers on YouTube, followers on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you. All of those are at BlackCoffeeCrime, so you can visit at any time. Any news stories that we're going to do, anything that comes up in the news or the media, we will post on those pages. And then every week we're here on YouTube, so you can watch us there. So thank you for that. The way this works is we talk about a single subject. It's a historical subject. It is published on the interwebs, in the newspapers. We're not making this up. However, if there is anything that we don't include or we misspeak, please let us know. I think someone corrected us on the Briley stories, the Briley brothers story from like last year. I think we said that they were found in Richmond. They weren't. They were found in like Philadelphia or something. So, thank you. Thank you for catching us. Sometimes when we're talking, we might mix some things up. It's charge it to the game.
You like the video?
Yeah, like the video.
You like the video?
Yeah.
That's good.
Miss Brandy making adjustments. We don't have our regular equipment guy over there with Brandy right now, so she's just making some quick adjustments. So we just talk. We know what we're going to talk about, but most of the time we just really don't know what we're going to say. So things happen, such as Brandy's new hairdo. We don't know until we get the new hair that we have new hair. So just roll with us on that. So again, thank you for joining us. All right, so two things very interesting. We did a show about the Tinder swindler.
Yeah.
Was it Simon?
Simon? It was
Simon Levy. Do you know he has an arrest warrant out for him in Spain?
Nothing new.
Yeah. So this is from an incident back in 2009. He used a fake driver's license and got a luxury car stuck on the beach. So I think at this point,
and then he said he was a holiday maker. What's a holiday maker?
Basically a vacationer. In Europe, they call vacations holidays. So I'm thinking he's just kind of, saying that he's a vacation guy, I guess. But he said that his name was Michael Bilton. He had a false license, blah, blah, blah. But at this point, I think that the authorities are trying to get him on anything so that they can bring him in.
Yes,
just so they can bring him in and then trump up the rest of the charges on him. So that's a Tinder swindler. I don't know if that's still on Netflix, but I'm quite sure it is because it's a Netflix documentary. Speaking of Netflix documentaries, Jackie, you told me about The Bad Vegan. I told Brandy about The Bad Vegan.
Yeah, I just finished it actually.
I don't know if we need a whole show for The Bad Vegan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's coming, y'all. We're going to talk about The Bad
Vegan. And I've been watching a lot of Netflix documentaries.
Yes.
Going in.
We will also be talking about Jimmy Savile.
Who was that?
If you are not familiar, I sent it to you. If you're not familiar with Jimmy Savile, he was a DJ and a TV personality in the UK for like 50 or 60 years. And for the entirety of that 50 or 60 years, he was a sexual abuser.
Yeah. Okay.
I heard about it some years ago, but a new 3-part Netflix documentary is out now. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch it, or anything on Jimmy Savile, because that will be coming up soon. So we'll be talking about that. Also, any suggestions that
I know who I'm fussing at, so it's not,
any suggestions that you have for new shows, you want to hear us talk about them, let us know. Facebook, Instagram, hit us up on Messenger, which you'll get through Facebook, at BlackCoffeeCrime, or put it in the comments of any of our shows that you might see on YouTube. Also, Brandy, I got this from you, and I got to read this because this is weird.
And on Netflix, watch Whiteout, the Abercrombie and Fitch story.
I haven't seen that. Okay, got it. Yeah, we do this all day. Okay, we do this all the time.
Love documentaries.
Right. So I have to read this. This has nothing to do. This may be criminal, but it's more. That's all I got. So Brandy sent this to me, and I'm going to read this. It says, "My wife poops in the shower and stomps it down the drain." This looks like it's from Reddit. Okay, I think this is from Reddit.
I saw it on TikTok.
Not a joke. She recently told me this, and I've been living with it for weeks now. She even broke the news to me while laughing about it. You know what a waffle stomp is? She asked me as she laughed and laughed so hard she started crying. I feel disgusted and betrayed. I can't even look at her over breakfast anymore before I head off to work. And while at work, all I can do is wonder to myself, is she doing it right now? Apparently, this has been going on for years. Says she uses all the scented candles she obsessively buys online to mask the smell. I work 12 to 15-hour days, so plenty of time to cover her shit stink. A few times we have had to snake the drain due to a clog. Now I know why. I'm not sure I can live this life anymore.
Really quickly, before you even start. So is she taking a shower when she does this, or this is just what she does when she has to poop?
I think she's taking a shower and takes a poop while she showers.
We hope that's what it is.
Either way.
I mean, either way, it's disgusting. But to say she has to use candles to mask it seems weird if she's showering, because that steam and that water.
But it's in the drain. It's not going anywhere. When you flush the toilet, it leaves. It's gone. But you're stomping it with your foot.
I just thought water. I don't know, Chad. I don't know.
I mean, just think about it. What else is in your drain? Hair, right?
Ugh.
So just think. Man. And I'm not sure if this is a Caucasian or non-Black person. Typically, Black people don't shed a lot of hair. Typically, we don't wash our hair in the shower that often. Mm-hmm. But most other ethnicities might wash their hair on a daily basis. So, of course, you'll have more shedding, more hair in the drain. Therefore, it's going to get clogged. I just wonder, is this like people having a poop knife?
Yeah, because that's a thing. Poop knives are a thing. I never heard about it until last year.
What are people eating? That
a whole lot of something that ain't right for them.
So gross.
What are you eating that you need a designated family poop knife to chop it up?
And why are you chopping it up?
Because it won't drain.
It's still disgusting. Like, it's just this. Where's the knife?
Like on the side of the toilet, like the.
How do we know that though? How do you know though? You know what I'm saying?
I'm assuming.
Your mind starts doing these type of crazy stuff, and then you go saying, "What was it?" Well,
I'm assuming. Like, do you say, "I gotta go to the bathroom"? Who has the poop knife? Like,
I'm just assuming.
And
my analytical mind is saying, how do we 100% sure? Because they probably think, oh, I washed it with soap and water. Should be good to go. That's what my mind thinks. My mind thinking that that's they just put it in a dish in the drawer with all the rest of the knives. Because they think because they've washed it with soap and water, it's good to go. That's how my mind thinks. That's how.
I mean, that's not too far off, because the fact is you have a poop knife to begin with. This lady in the shower, though, you're barefoot in your shower.
Just hitting it with a heater. Just
There's water, so that means it's spreading. These are the same people who don't want to wash their chicken because they're worried about salmonella. But you in the shower stomping poop with your foot?
and then you said it splatter up, and then it's now you gotta clean.
And these are the same people that don't wash their legs?
Nasty.
Or feet. They don't wash their legs or feet.
I think this is criminal, because I think that this is the man has a right to feel betrayed. And the fact that she's laughing at it, something is really wrong with her psychologically. And I think you should be able to have an uncontested divorce over this.
She's laughing because that's something that her and her family probably just do, and it's not a big deal to her.
Who taught you to stomp?
Why would you want to?
Who taught you that you should just, because in most bathrooms, unless you have a luxury bathroom where you have a water closet, most bathrooms, you have to pass the toilet to get to the shower.
Mm-hmm. Make it make sense.
Yeah. How do you get there? How do you get to the point where you just say, don't even bother to use the toilet? Just do it in the shower.
Let me take off all my clothes, turn the water on, make sure the water is at a good temperature. Then get in her, then use the bathroom. That's the process.
And the husband, they'd had prior issues with the plumbing, but he just thought, the regular issues. They had to come out because they got all stopped up, but I see why.
Yeah, and then her nasty ass probably just sitting there laughing the whole time.
Ain't saying nothing. He said, like, what's going on? Like,
why does our bathroom always smell like this? Why does the drain smell like this? And my thing is, if you're buying candles obsessively, then you know that shit's nasty. I just don't understand. That is criminal. I see.
Maybe you thought she like candles.
That's nasty.
But if she's doing that, I mean, if she's the one that's buying the candles specifically to mask the smell, then there's a problem with that.
If you bask in something, you shouldn't be doing it.
I just wonder, like, this is the person that cooks your food. She's cooking your food. Like, she sent
she done
had
some on her, and she had some on her feet before.
She don't wash her hands. If
you
do that in the shower, you don't wash your hands. You
know
having
she
salmonella
and
shit chicken for dinner. Those little, when you thought you was having cream of mushroom soup gravy, those weren't mushrooms.
That's nasty but funny.
Those weren't mushrooms.
Oh Lord.
No.
Oh Jesus.
Just dance.
Don't tell nobody if y'all doing that. Don't say nothing. Just stop. Just stop doing it. Don't even say nothing. Just don't do it no more from this point forward. Because somebody's listening. Somebody listening saying, "What? That's a bad thing." It's you. Do not
even been able to look at it
anymore.
Yes, it's a bad thing. It's nasty.
Go away. Don't do no poop knives. Don't do none of that stuff.
It's not normal. It's not normal. First of all, because if you need a poop knife, you need to change your diet. You need a little cup of apples every day. Eat you a few apples, some flaxseed in a smoothie. Get that out of you, okay? You probably get that out. Get that out, because something. Are you? What does one have to eat to need the poop knife?
The food they be making.
But what is it though?
We don't. Nobody knows. Unseasoned stuff.
I mean, are you eating?
Just stop, because it's a thing. Like, it's a massive thing. Like, just stop.
I need someone in the comments, okay, about this. I need someone in the comments about this. If you know,
comment anonymously.
no, listen, just send it. Just we won't even tell who it is.
On Facebook or something.
Yeah, just you can do it on Facebook, Black Coffee and Crime. Let us know if you know, have a family member experience something about a poop knife, the waffle stop. Like, we need to know these things because obviously somebody is out in the world doing this, and we just don't know why. Because of the drain, the way the drain looks in your shower.
Oh yeah.
And from your auntie Jackie, I'll tell you, don't
stop
do
it right now. Your Aunt Jackie said, "Stop it right now."
Aunt Jackie said, "Stop. It's nasty." I know you think because of the water in her that it's okay. Don't do it no more. Just stop today. Okay?
Because the shower is supposed to get you clean.
Gross.
Now, I've already, a couple shows ago, I already said, change your deodorant because the weather's changing. What you should also be doing is if you use a loofah, change that mug out. The little ones that you buy at Walmart, don't use that for too long, okay? Don't use it for too long. And also, that's really, that loofah really ain't doing nothing for you. It's just sudsy. It ain't doing nothing for you. You need a washcloth, or you need an actual loofah that they get, the ones you can get from the Mexican store about this big, and you got to cut it. Or one of those African loofah towel things. Get that, okay? Wash your legs, your feet, and everything, and stop shitting in the shower. No, it's never okay.
Because taking a bar of soap and doing this number right here, stop that too.
It's not it.
Y'all do that. Don't do that.
Especially if you poop in the shower,
the body
because you're really not getting.
Don't.
All right, all right, we're gonna move along.
Ain't none of my people.
Nope.
We're gonna move along. I don't even know where one would find such people.
Around the corner, down the street, next door.
You never know. Either. Yeah, you really never know about the intimate lives of people till you go to Reddit, and then
they tell everything on Reddit. You
find all manner of stuff on Reddit, and I think that's where that came from. Yeah. All right, y'all. I got questions, but again, let us know. Tell us why. If you know, be anonymous. Just tell us why, because we're curious, and I don't know anyone personally with these types of traditions. I don't want to know them, but I want to know why they do. I want to know why. All right, so we don't leave that alone. All right, so let's fast forward to what the hell we're supposed to be talking about tonight. Last week I posted onto Facebook and Instagram 6 pictures of cult leaders, ranging from Charles Manson to David Koresh. And I was like, which one are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about Jim Jones and the People's Temple. If you are unfamiliar with who Jim Jones is, he is not the rapper from Dipset. He is, we're not talking about him.
Absolutely not.
We are talking about the charismatic cult leader Jim Jones, who led about 1,000 people down to Guyana in South America in 1978 and committed the largest mass suicide ever on U.S. soil, well, of U.S. citizens. So that's what we're going to talk about, because it's interesting. We know that this, there's countless documentaries and articles about this, but it's still very interesting, and we haven't talked about it, so you don't know what we think about it. So that's what we're about to do. So Jackie, did you want to give us a little rundown of Jim Jones?
Sure. So the People's Temple, which is where he was like the leader over, was in from 1955 to 1978. Let me start with his background. He was born in May, I believe. I got my notes up so I can keep up. 1931. I've seen so many documentaries, so I'm trying to keep up with everything. At first, he was born in the Pentecostal. He was raised in church. That is a lifestyle he was already, used to. He was already raised in that type of environment. So he was ordained to be a Christian minister eventually when he got older. But I'm not quite sure what got him or led him into believing that he needed his own followers, in the manner that it was, because it got serious.
Who is
So,
Shawanda?
Oh.
Oh.
And on the computer. Let me change my name because that ain't my name.
Very interesting
I'm
show
sorry, I
we're
was in
having.
total shock because I was like, who is this?
I was like, wait a minute, is somebody like, how did they get,
Hacked?
how? I think
Okay. All right. That happens.
continue.
That happens. It happened today. Black coffee crime. It happened. Okay.
I promise you.
All right.
We never know what the hell's gonna happen. This
only BW, aka Shawanda. So he his first set of crew to name the church was Latter Rain Movement.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to the Healing Revival. And then as time went on, he became to get very popular with like certain type of like movement leaders and like famous people that were in the Christian community that were real known as being leaders, which I believe two of them were, well, the two that I saw were William Branham and Joseph Boz, or whatever. And then after hooking up with them and just gaining more popularity because of his connection to them, he created the People's Temple in 1955 in Indianapolis. Okay, y'all got anything on their childhood before I go further?
Well,
I mean,
no, go ahead. Because the interesting part of who Jim Jones is comes a little later.
Yeah. Okay. So he moved to California. To San Francisco was at 1965. Became involved in politics, did charitable work.
I can't. I don't even know what's gonna come back now. I don't know what version of her
It's still
we're gonna get.
It's still me.
Okay.
All right. So
okay, I'm gonna let Jackie recover. Okay, so he moves to California, to San Francisco. Now, during the 60s, when he moved there, that was the height of revolution. I mean, you've got civil rights movement, Black Power movements, you've got women's rights movements. He moved into the height at the Haight-Ashbury area. So this is like the era of love, the age of Aquarius, all that. So all of this is going on. People are like anti-government, anti this, anti that, love this, love that. So I don't know if moving to California at that time was a calculated move on his part, knowing that people would be more receptive to him at that point, especially a certain demographic of people.
Christians.
And Christians, but Black Christians.
Black Christians, yes. Sorry. Black Christians.
Black Christians. And when he moved there, that's when he started to kind of gather a bigger following because, like Jackie said, he was very political, speaking out against government, wanting to do this whole agricultural thing, and like speaking out against racism and all this stuff. But him speaking out against racism and him not being racist are two different things. Because if you've seen any of the films of his prayer meetings, Jim Jones was
racist.
Was something else. When he was in Indianapolis, before they made the move to California, Jackie mentioned two of his mentors, but one of his mentors was a Black preacher, cult leader called Father Divine.
Oh yeah. Oh, did I mention?
And Father Divine had this. I don't think so. That might have been.
I didn't.
Oh, okay. It might have been his real name, but Father Divine was a very charismatic revival type preacher. If y'all have never been to like a tent revival, y'all don't know preaching until you've been to an old school tent revival. That's what Jim Jones was used to. So he had this big voice. He was very charismatic, and this cadence to his voice that called to African Americans. Well, at the time we were still Negroes. That called to Black folks. That call and response that we do. If you ever been in the movies or a theater with Black people, we talk to the
yes,
screen.
we do.
That's just innate. That's just what we do. They do something, we say it back. In church, the preacher says something,
you don't answer back.
Respond. That's what we do. So Jim Jones knew that. And like I said, him spewing or talking about anti-racism didn't make him anti-racist. Indiana is one of the most racist states in the Union to this day. But I think he recognized that he could get a following with Black people because there were no white preachers preaching to Black people and preaching to the specific needs of Black people and how, we respond to God in the church and the Bible. He knew that. He got that from Father Divine. So he followed him a lot, and he got that whole agricultural separatist type thing from him. So he went to a lot of revivals with Father Divine. And then when he moved to California, it was a little bit freer there. So there was racial tension, but not so much as you would have had in the Midwest. So that was that following that he had from Indiana with the Black people. He picked that right on up when he went to San Francisco.
Sure did.
He picked that right up. One of the things that, like I said, if you've never seen him speak, you can understand why people were so drawn to him, because he was good. He was good. But if I heard him say nigga one more time, I was like, what? Wait a minute, Jim.
I can't believe they sit there and let him say it.
What was it? They say all kind of crazy stuff in cults. And you'd be wondering, why would somebody fall for that?
He's up in his prayer meetings. And
then also he had already, by then their minds are already corrupt and following him strongly and thinking, what he's saying is going to be right anyway. So.
Mm-hmm. So they set up in San Francisco. He has this building and all this stuff. And he has a pretty good following, but like all cults, you have to sacrifice your worldly goods to the good of the church. He was having people sign blank pieces of paper. And he did that for a couple of purposes. He would have them sign blank pieces of paper, and then he would go back. He and his people would go back later on and do like a whole will and testament type of thing with your signature. Then he would also do these confession letters, these false confession letters, so that if you left or said anything against the church, you've confessed to rape, murder, sexual assault, fraud, any number of things, because you already signed your name on this piece of paper. And you had to give up your worldly goods to the church as well. So
he probably was sending letters, family members was looking for the people.
Yeah.
I was sending false letters home too.
That's what they do a lot in cults and stuff. Who did we talk about that did that? We were just talking about somebody a couple weeks ago that was sending letters home. Oh, the West, Fred and Rose was sending letters to their victims' families to kind of throw them off. And so they were doing this, and they had a couple defectors, but for the most part, people really bought this. They bought this. And he was a swindler. He would have his secretary, she looked like an old lady. He would have his secretary go into the audience and act like she was ailing and couldn't walk or whatever. And then he would touch her or pray over her, and she would get up and walk. And then people would, of course, buy into the miracle. And part of Pentecostalism, I guess, if that's a word, is being able to call forth the Spirit, speaking in tongues, this sect of Christianity is very mystical, very much into, I grew up Pentecostal, so I know, very much into the supernatural, although Christians don't want to talk about the supernatural, but very much into the supernatural, very close to what like hoodoo teachings in Haiti and things like that. I mean, it's very close, but we got the little umbrella of the church spire on top of it. But all of that, the body movements, the out of body experiences. And so he was able to give these people, especially Black people who come from Southern states and, the Midwest, he was able to give them that, but with a progressive face on it. Like, we're gonna bring you up out of poverty. We're gonna bring you up out of, past and through the civil rights movement. He had no intention.
No.
He had zero intention. Zero intention. Brandy, did you watch any of his prayer meetings?
I had seen them before. I didn't watch them recently, but I had seen them before. I'm thinking a documentary of his about him. I had watched it, but I have seen his sermons, some of his sermons.
So he went to let's see, before they went to California, he traveled to back and forth to South America. It's like he was scouting out different locations before they went to San Francisco. They really ran from Indiana because they ran out of money, and there was some shenanigans going on in Indiana. So he was running from that. And he was recruiting people to go to California, all kinds of stuff. So he called his church the Apostolic Socialism.
What does that mean?
A form of communism.
Apostolic Socialism. Basically, I guess, communism with some
Christianity,
with some God sprinkled through it.
Yeah.
Because what he would say in some of those meetings is, and this is very prophetic, he would say in some of those meetings that he's not going to let his children, meaning his congregation, be swept up or something into their, basically not being swept up into what the government was doing, and that they were socialists and it was communist, that they were communists in the People's Temple, and it was all about the people. And I think that's one way that cult break you down is they take away your individuality. You are no longer an individual. You are a collective. You are the church. Like every member is a part of the church. You're no longer Jackie. You're not Brandy. It's just your brother so-and-so or sister so-and-so.
Yeah.
And he was very good at that. I guess I closed my rings today, y'all.
Huh?
You know, my activity ring. I feel so accomplished. And then do jack today.
Brandy over here, BW over here doing this.
Listen, let me tell you, all the calories that you have burned today have come from you shaking that wig.
This right here. Getting in my eye, you know.
Yes.
Sometimes you're not used when you get a new hairstyle. You have to learn how to live with it.
Girl, you are working the new hair.
I just got it done today, so you know.
You are working. Who's your stylist?
Girl, this is just a little something I whipped together because I was the one for a new look.
Well, it's working for you. It is working for you. It's very appropriate for the time period we're talking about. But what he was doing is breaking down every member of the church to get them to call him father, to get them to believe in a common goal of a movement moving away from the government. I think what that does is it allows the cult leader to be autonomous and to do whatever he wants to do to those people.
They thought they were over to a utopia. So he was saving them from all the stuff that was going on in America.
Yeah, but
I mean, we know that's not what he was really doing, but
so
I think he played on people's emotions that when they felt in their mind they needed God. And he took the opportunity to be like, well, look what I can do for you though. In the same sense, me telling you that it's God that's helping me do this for you. I can take care of you if you do what I tell you to do because God is helping take care of me. So I'm taking care of you. So just do what I tell you to do.
Well, the Lord told me to tell you.
Yeah.
And I think at a certain point they replace God with themselves. They take, they'll tell the people that they've taken the form of God. God is now in me. I am. Now I am the great I am. There's a definition of the apostolic socialism. He took this from the Acts of the Apostles in the New Testament. Basically, everything is common. Everyone is receiving according to their needs, which is very, very much part, of communism. Communism is everything that you need shall be provided. You won't have more than what you need. You'll have exactly what you need. All those things will be provided to you. But here's the caveat is you're taking care of yourself. You're giving your goods and your money to one person or one entity so they can then divvy it back out to you and everyone else. So instead of taking care of yourself, because you've worked for yourself, and then sharing with your neighbor, you have to give everything to the group or to the collective, and then it will be divided amongst you, which is in and of itself is not a bad thing. It's not a bad idea. But when you're handing it to a single person and they're divvying it back out to you, how much of what you actually gave is coming back?
Never enough.
Never enough. But he was selling this idea of a utopia. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of America. Part of the reason why they wanted to move, he wanted to push the move to South America, was because his image started to be a little tarnished. There were certain letters that were being written by former members or members on the inside about their treatment, about what he was doing. Boy, Jim was a pedophile. He was a rapist. He even said in one of those prayer meetings that he would do whatever he had to do, including sleep with a man, a woman, it didn't matter. if it was for the movement or for God, then he would do it. He would have members alienate from their husbands and wives.
Come to here. Some of them come to this house, you know, because this house is like separate from the community.
He liked young girls and young boys. And these people, which we find a lot in church, people allow their children to be taken by the pastor or the leader, and because this person is going to, babe, Randy, okay? Randy.
I'm okay.
What the hell?
Just good. I'm okay. Keep on.
What is going on?
Do this.
I don't
She
know.
was laughing at something.
Joking.
She was laughing at something, and that her was just.
Jesus. Don't worry about me.
Oh my God, this show. I don't even know what is gonna happen with this.
Girl, it's a day, I tell you. I spent all day at the beauty shop, so I'm just trying to get myself together.
There's just so much going on. Like, I don't even know. Let us just get through this, because it's just a lot, people. It's a lot. This is Black Coffee Crime.
I didn't see what happened before the laughter. I just saw that she started laughing, and I heard what she
I saw the head go down, and I seen the shit, and I knew you were eating something, and I was like, is she choking? Like, what are we witnessing here? Like, what happened?
No, I'm yet still with us.
Amen and amen again. Back to Jim Jones. So yes, people will allow certain things to happen with their kid because this is the leader blessing you, or the leader wants to talk to you, or allow them to do things like this. And no one says anything.
Nope.
No one says anything. But there were some articles that came out before, right in a year or so before he started sending a couple scouts down to Guyana. There was like a bunch of land down there. He was selling these people that there was abundant food and all these resources. So these people are like, yes, they're giving away their goods. He had these people get on buses and go to different airports so that they wouldn't see like this mass exodus of people leaving. So they go to Guyana. It's not an easy trip. They have to take a plane, train, and an automobile to get there. They get there, and all these pictures and films of food, it's a lie. It's a lie. The land is barren. The food that they were filming or shown was food that was imported. It was not grown there. These people have taken their kids, all of their loved ones, down to Guyana. But he sells them on this utopia. They get down there and they've gone to a hell. It's even worse. He is really at this point, by the time he gets to Guyana, I think he's so scared. And then he's so drunk on his own power that he kind of loses it. He's lost it by the time he goes to Guyana. But he has these people out there on some kumbaya type shit, and it's not kumbaya. It's not kumbaya. It's not kumbaya.
Forget the words, abuse, all the different things they went through. Poor people. They couldn't leave because, like Randy was saying, they were threatened. Where are they gonna go? His security knew where everybody was at all times. You couldn't leave. She'll get to that later, but they were pretty much just stuck there.
And the weather was horrible. Just think about the humidity.
Yes.
If you're not used to that, especially if you come from California.
Yeah, you're in South America. It's raining. It's humid. You're living in horrible conditions, really, because you're out in the middle of nothing. out in the middle of nothing. Oh my God.
What?
Did she shake her hair? She's been doing it the whole time.
Yeah, she's just in the camera, just shaking that damn wig.
Use wig? Wig where? Wig where?
While her braids show in the back.
Yeah.
That's why I'm laughing. I'm trying to move it. You guys leave me alone with my hair. I hear some jealousy in the room.
She even got a little handkerchief, you know how they laugh at the little handkerchiefs.
Yeah, because all I got,
yeah.
I am jealous because all I got is this little apple core hair left. You know, last year this time I had dreads, locks down in here. Now I got this little apple core left, so I'm a little jealous. I can't. I don't even know why we're recording tonight because obviously we are.
I just have the giggles.
We are in a whole nother place right now. Like,
I'm good. Okay, I'm good.
Okay, you good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So once they get down there, it's like 4,000 acres down in Guyana. It's really called the People's Temple Agricultural Project, and then he names it Jonestown. So that's what most people think of when they hear Jim Jones. They hear Jonestown, and then they hear about the massacre. He picked it because it was an English-speaking place. They had, there were existing Black people there. But it wasn't as populated as like we said, it wasn't as populated as Jim Jones had described to them. There were barely any people in this damn country and almost zero near the land that they went to.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes
I'm thinking, okay, so nobody was allowed to leave. We know that. But wasn't there there were some people who would go to do the trading, right?
Yeah, part of his security team and trusted people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they were the only ones
trusted people.
Yeah, they were the only ones that were allowed to do anything. Everyone else was supposed to be working the land, and basically they were indentured servants. So these African American people, there were about 1,000 people that were in Jonestown by a year later, by 1977. Most of those were Black people. So it's kind of like he sold you on this idea of you're getting away from racism, you're getting away from Jim Crow and all this stuff. And then you go to Guyana, and again, you went from the frying pan to the fire because now you're back on the plantation.
Wow.
And your master's name is Jim Jones.
Wow, man.
He's got these huge tents and seating places where everyone sits on these benches and like he's feeding people like in an assembly line like they're prisoners, and they've got their kids out there. But this is where it went all bad. There was a U.S. senator or congressman who had gotten wind of something that was going wrong down there. And he's like, wait a minute, we got a bunch of U.S. citizens in another country. What the fuck is going on? What is going on? We got about 1,000 U.S. citizens. And this is what Jim Jones wanted to avoid when they left. This is why he had all those people like being bused to different airports, because he didn't want this exodus to be known about. So
as well as some of the people that were part of the People's Temple, their family members who knew they were there were already advocating for them in the States. They were already kind of like, someone go save our family member. Like something is like, they can't get out. We can't see them. We can't talk to them. This is someone that usually typically interacts with us, spouses. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
Children.
It was like people were being excommunicated by their spouses. I'm not even looking at Brandy. I don't even want to know what's going on there. Wait. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at her. I can't. People were being excommunicated by their spouses. So one partner, one half of the relationship or marriage or whatever would be on part of the people's temple, and the other person left or didn't want to, and you were basically encouraged to just let them go, and never talk to them again. So
you couldn't talk to them again. Well, not never. You couldn't talk to them again.
Nope.
Right, because he separated them from them. So Leo Ryan was a U.S. representative. He goes down to, in 1978, he goes down to Guyana. Some of the members, this was on the 17th of November, 1978. So when he gets there, some of the members are like, thank you, sweet baby Jesus. We want to leave. We want to go. So they saw this as really as a way out. So the next day, he's like, okay, yes, whoever wants to go can go. The next day, they're loading the plane, and some of Jim Jones's security team follows them. They basically shoot them.
Or even before that, before they even shot, they made it seem like this was just the utopia that they said that it was going to be, showing them what they've been doing and how this, trying to make it seem like it was just normal, and this is just some people who just really want the best for each other.
Right. Kind of like when you got company coming over, you make sure that the bathroom and the kitchen are clean.
Yeah.
But you got a pile of dishes in the dishwasher, and mounds of clothes in the laundry room. So it's like they were hiding stuff. They were trying to hide the bad stuff, but some people knew that the representative was coming, so they were ready. They were like, yes, we're gonna go. But these guys opened fire at the airport, at the airstrip, killed the U.S. representative, killed some journalists, injuring like 9 or 10 people and killing another one of the group as well. But some of this was filmed by one of the journalists. Some of this was filmed. That night, Jim Jones knew that I just killed a U.S. representative. And if he doesn't come back, they're going to come down here, they're going to get me. So he basically had this last long revival type sermon. And in that sermon, what he's saying is, they've come to get us. They've come down here to destroy us. Now's the time that we're all going to do this together. But see, he had been preaching this for years. And if you listen to some of he's always talking about, he's never going to let them take his children. Never going to let them take his children. He says this for years and years and years. So I'm quite sure that these people were ready for this. But again, you're really not ready, because you're not.
Did you hear that the one tape where the woman is like pleading, like, I don't think it's time. Like, I don't.
Right.
She was like, oh, no, I don't want to do this. This is not what
I think he would have.
What about our kids?
I think he would have let them folks go on if some folks had not decided that they wanted to go. If nobody said they wanted to go and old boy was just going to fly off,
I don't think it was still
been around. You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I don't think he would. I think he started shooting and all that shit because he didn't want the folks who went to go and tell the truth.
I think the plan was the whole time, because that representative was going to go back and still say, you got to go get those people out of there. Because I don't care how much cleanup and how much propaganda he put out there, that place was still a hellhole. And he was going to go back and say that there are kids there living in poor conditions. You've got to go get those people out.
But again, these are adults who make that decision.
I understand that this is the adults that make the decision, but you're still, I understand that the adults made the decision to be there, but think about all the other cults that we've come across. They still go and get those people out. They did it to Warren Jeffs. Get those kids and those women out of there. Yes, these people made a decision that they should be here. This is why Ruby Ridge happened. This is why Waco happened. Get those people out of there. This is a dangerous situation. We have U.S. citizens in a foreign country. Something's not right. And then they already had allegations of sexual assault and fraud and all of this stuff prior to them leaving. This is why they rushed the move down.
So
to
why
Diana.
did he allow them to come anyway then? Why do you think?
I don't think it was a point of him allowing them to come. They were coming. They knew where he was. They're coming. It wasn't that he allowed them. It was kind of like they're already here. So we got to clean it up. They're not coming down here with an army just yet. But I think once they saw that they came down there with cameras and journalists, they were going to report to the world that Jonestown was a failure.
And even as they were leaving, I mean, he already felt some type of way because the journalist, of course, is giving off this energy like this is wrong. Like the vibe he was giving off. He was already trying to figure out what he was already secretly talking to them, some of the members in front of Jim Jones, not in front of him, but to where Jim can see it. And now he's like, okay, okay. So you ready to start up a war.
Right.
That's what I've been waiting on. I've been waiting
on
this.
So what did you tell them? What did you tell them? So again, you got these journalists out there with these cameras. They can see that everything about Jonestown is a veneer. Everything about it, and it's chipping away. By this time, even before the representative got there, Jim Jones had lost his shit. This is why people were like, I want to go home. What is wrong with him? He's now got you. It's no longer about being between a rock and a hard place. He's got your head between the refrigerator and the stove at this point.
Yeah, and you can't even leave. I mean,
you can't even go anywhere. How do I even get out? I'm in a jungle.
How you survive in the jungle with all that heat and no water?
Right. I'm in the jungle. When I say it took a plane, train, and an automobile to get there, that's literally what they had to do. They took a plane, they took a boat, then they had to take like transport buses or whatever, miles, like 150 miles into the jungle. These people could not get out. And he did this on purpose. So now he has these people at his mercy. He can do whatever he wants. This U.S. representative and his team goes down there because of all the reports from family members and, all the allegations before. So, Brandon, please stop with that week. All those allegations before. And I don't think he ever intended for these people to survive. Mass suicide was always the goal. It was always the goal, because with a cult, what else can you do? You've got to ascend because you've sold these people on your godhood. You've sold these people how powerful you are. So the only way that you can show them how powerful you are is for them to die. We will all ascend together. Every cult does that. The Heaven's Gate, we all got to ascend together. They're going to come for us at this time. And if I die first, you won't be able to see how powerful I am. So you have to come with me. He preached this the entire time. And that last day, you hear babies crying, you hear mothers crying. They do not want to do this. 900 people drank the Kool-Aid and died. He put cyanide in the Kool-Aid.
And the ones who didn't got shot.
It was flavoring, but yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the Kool-Aid, it was flavoring.
But I think he made them give to the kids first because the kids dead. So the parents were like, how am I going to live without a child? And so
manipulation.
That was a manipulation. He gave it to them first because he knew those parents are going to be like, well, I have to go now. My kid's gone. The guilt. Then you got the guilt. He knew they would be guilty watching their children die. He knew what he was doing. Oh, he's like smart little.
He was still preaching at the end. He's like, round up those babies, just give it to these babies and do this. And it's so like, oh my God. I'll never forget that woman.
Really I just will never forget that woman in that tape, begging him like, look, I don't want to do this. Like, let's not do this, please. She was begging.
I would have poured a little bit out for the homies and then drank it just a smidge and act like I was
something. But I mean, hopefully.
Until I came back too.
Hopefully, Randy, your wig is tilted.
We talking about that's the look I was going for.
Yeah, your bangs the kind of.
That's really tilted.
We need to stay on topic. You don't be worrying about what my hair is doing over here.
It's hard to stay on topic tonight because we have already shifted like this. I mean,
BW, it's like this. Ooh. Oh. Okay.
It ain't me, it's Jackie. All that laughing.
Like we're sitting here talking about Jim Jones and the mass suicide, and all I could think about is that wig sliding like this.
Like this. You see? It's over here. It's up here on the side.
Girl, leave me alone because I've been under the dryer all day.
Then it's the brain
I ain't
showing.
got time.
Then it's the brain.
Messing with y'all.
Then it's the brain showing.
About what I got going.
What you talking about? There's the brain show. What you talking about? You been sitting under the dryer.
Been under the dryer all day.
Ooh. Try. She got 4 whole braids showing.
I'm trying to tickle. That's
You
why I
should
had to
go
pull it to the
outside,
side
okay?
and kind of camouflage.
Wait, why did she spray it though?
Lord.
Oh. I wish I had one of those things that go across the screen and go boom.
Yeah, you need to figure out.
Oh my God.
You guys are so off topic.
Oh, can you blame us?
I really don't know what the big deal is. I want to dance with somebody.
I don't even know if we can go on at this point.
We you know, shot the folks. The folks that died of the play rate. Some did survive.
Yeah, there's like 100 people that survived, including his biological son, his one biological son, Jim Jones Jr. or the third or whatever.
You know.
And then his one of his adopted children I know survived, who happened to be Black. But one very interesting thing about the Black adopted son, Jim Jones had like this rainbow tribe of kids that he adopted. He was one of the first people to adopt, as a white person, to adopt a Black child in Indiana. It just didn't happen. But he said that in his memory, he always referred to him, this is my Black adopted son. Like he made sure that people knew. Yeah. He did it on purpose so that he can project this progressive
Black
image as a altruistic preacher. I love everybody type thing.
I think it went further than that, where you can't just go run off with my son and leave with my son. You know, you can't make this decision by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, because this is my child too. So to control the mothers,
he
would adopt a child where that child would become his, where the mom wouldn't.
Wow.
They're going to naturally follow.
But you're not going to take my son, and then so the mother would stay.
Yeah, they would naturally follow. But I think that's also a part of, we said that he preached anti-racism, but he was very racist.
Mm-hmm.
He knew the power that the Bible has, the chokehold that the Bible has on African Americans. Brady, you and I talked about this a couple weeks ago, not too long ago, about how,
or their interpretation,
right? About how African Americans, Black folks, whatever you want to call us, That book has a chokehold on it. And if you can preach it right, if you sound good, if you're a charismatic preacher, we will follow you right over the cliff. To this day, we still do this.
And don't even be reading the word right.
No.
Don't be even interpreting.
But it sounds
word
good.
Right.
It sounds good. And I'm not gonna lie, Jim Jones was a hell of a preacher. Hell of a preacher. Just to listen to his prayer meetings and his sermon, I can understand how these people followed him, but you had to know something was wrong with the man because he never took his damn glasses off.
Right.
Why do you wear such dark glasses? Because you knew
he knew
that
he was lying.
Somebody would be able to tell that you was lying by looking in your face.
That's that body language. Your body gonna tell before you do.
Mm-hmm. And he
always know when somebody lying to you because they can't look in your eye,
mm-hmm.
or they turn to the side.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be our show for tonight.
I knew he was saying it. Oh, I knew it was coming. I just
can't do it. I just can't do it. This is the oddest show that we have ever done. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep most of this in. Because I don't think that this is going to make any sense if I edit this out. Like,
I was going to be on location today. And Brand told me to come on in the room.
But trust me, I didn't know she was coming into the room.
I mean, I literally saw her 5 minutes before the show.
Jackie comes in and we could see the shadow. And I said, just wait till she gets here. Just wait till you see it. And she's like, what? And so Brandy gets closer and closer and closer and closer. And then you can see the new hairdo.
You don't understand,
and Brandy gets closer. And
Brandy, I was literally talking. We were talking. I don't know where. She went to the shop pretty fast.
Brandy comes around the corner. Brandy comes around the corner.
What?
With this Scooby-Doo Fred ascot around her neck. I said, where the hell? Because she didn't have that on a minute ago. Where the hell did she come from with this ascot? What is going on?
What did you call it? What did you call it?
An ascot. You know when Fred used to wear the ascot? Where did she? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know. I hope that you got something out of this show tonight. I don't know what it is. We may have to redo this. We may have to redo
All I could think about was Freddie Prinze Jr. That was it.
Look at that thing tied around her neck. Look at that. I don't know if you're going to be able to get anything out of the show tonight. Hopefully you do. During our lucid moments, when we were speaking clearly, I hope that you understood what we were trying to say.
I put this on to look professional. This here.
Oh, okay.
Be professional.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
You know, because I'm not at home. So, you know, I had to do what I had to do. I had to get my hair done.
It is her.
You know, I am a professional.
That was the fastest shop visit I have ever seen in my life. You need to tell them to do a better job.
Girl, what you talking about?
I'm quite sure your braids are not supposed to be showing. You're going to do that.
They're supposed to tuck the braids. So, yes. Thank you guys for sticking with us through to the end of this.
They're going to be like, dude, they're going to be like, what?
I almost didn't make it. So I almost didn't make it. Me and Jackie was on the limb.
Ooh. I don't know what the problem was. I was doing the show regular. I mean, I was attentive. I was paying attention. I was conversing.
Okay.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking this wild ride tonight At another time, at another juncture, we will come back and not
Jesus
necessarily
is
talk
on. That's what you need to be singing.
the main line.
Yeah, that's sing it, Brand.
Oh, my mule. Oh, my mule.
She can't even do it herself. She can't even do it because she already know.
Well, thank you for joining us at the Greater Mount Moriah Hold My Mule Baptist Church, Pentecostal Church of God in Christ. Tonight, thank you for joining us for service.
I hold myself. It's been too good.
Ooh.
All right, y'all. We gotta go because we'll do this all night, and I don't even know what to do with this episode. But if you stayed to the end, thank you so much because we almost didn't make it. But we yet holding, So, amen for that, and drink your coffee and have a good one. Hallelujah. Good night, y'all.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.